What's up, Autonomics? How happy are you that it's Friday? I'm as happy as could be. And if loving the weekend is wrong, I don't want to be right. Let's get into it, shall we? All right, so this is a new number, at least for my tracker. I hope you're seeing something like this as well. Maybe setting a new low record for friction. Today was a 1. I have to confess that the low friction rating is because of a novel mental technique, which is a combination mindset of growth mindset and stress is enhancing mindset. And this flipped stress on its head for me. And the typical anticipation of the difficulty of a workout and everything else that comes with going to the gym or doing something that's healthy but not necessarily pleasant, this just completely changed it. The reason I'm mentioning this is this also introduces something that can be a bit of a challenge when we are adopting habits, which is when it's novel, it's easy, right? Or when we're about to finish something, right? Let's say if we're running a marathon and we're this close, we can see the finish line. That tends to amplify our motivation. But there's this section in the middle, which is the really long section where our motivation just wanes, right? It tends to get very diminished. The day-to-day just gets dull. There's nothing new and there's no end in sight, at least not yet. And that is what I'm being careful about here. However, this mindset change does seem to have a very strong effect. I've never encountered anything like it. I'm going to make a video about it. This is a regular long form video. This is something that's very powerful, and it completely changed my anticipation of going to the gym. It also made me work out considerably harder. So whereas I had a ton of energy this morning to get the workout done, I am exhausted now because I think I worked out about twice as hard as I normally would, both in boxing, I do shadow boxing and bag work to start the workout, and then I do weights after. And I just had much more energy this time. So I'm acknowledging the novel effect. I'm going to possibly enter this as a line item in a separate habit tracker just so I can test it out, because this getting into this mindset is absolutely something that's extremely powerful if you're not already doing it. And if you are already doing it, you're probably not having any trouble adopting the habit. I'm not saying it's the key to it all, but it definitely adds a lot of natural motivation and momentum to this process. So I'm absolutely going to do something with this in terms of a video to share it with you all. Huberman did an episode on this a couple weeks ago, and he goes to great length to explain the mechanics of it. I'll try to boil it down for you and put it into something that you can do along with me and the fellow autonomics here. So, but that's why today's habit execution friction was a 1. I was running out the door. I couldn't wait to go try this out, and it worked. Same thing coming back and having the motivation to get the nutrition prep linchpin habit done for tomorrow. It was easy, right? And it almost shouldn't be, but it was just, it's because of this mindset shift, it's changed. So these numbers are perhaps lower than they would have been otherwise, and I acknowledge the noise that that's putting into the signal of habit adoption automaticity. But we'll see how this plays out. And but I wanted to be fully clear, this is not that I had just some sort of habit breakthrough. There is an external element to the process here that is changing it, but it seems to be very synergistic to this habit adoption because it's making it easier to do a task that could be challenging or otherwise difficult or perhaps unpleasant. Even if it is becoming an automatic habit, this adds a great deal of positivity to the episodic memory and the subjective experience of that habit. So really looking forward to that. Tomorrow, normal habit day, right? We'll cover the week in review, and we can already take a look at it. Look how smooth these numbers are, right? With the exception of the rest day, which we would expect, at least I would expect for myself to be higher. And it was, had I considered doing a workout on Thursday, it would have been very tough to do because I was absolutely exhausted. And that's because I do 4 workouts on Tuesday and Wednesday between going to the gym and going to boxing after. I also did my first sparring sort of in boxing on Wednesday. And I was so exhausted by that experience. Incredible learning, but absolutely exhausted by it. And there was just no way I was going to get a workout in yesterday. I mean, I could have, but it just would have been really difficult. Other than that, these numbers are really smooth. And we'll talk about it more, but they're smooth compared to what they used to be, and lower. This is what we want to see. So more detail about that tomorrow. The linchpin habit is nice and smooth. And I wonder if there's some crosstalk between these two. If the practice of being in a habit and then extending that practice over time makes the adoption of other habits along the way also smooth, right? So these are just things to think about, but I'm spilling over into tomorrow's content, so I won't go crazy. Then Sunday, right? Sunday is going to be the day that we add this final concept, which is a completely different part of the habit adoption process, and that's the testing phase. I will get into that on Sunday. But until then, enjoy your weekend, everyone. Thank you all to all of these subscribers. If you're new here, make sure you check out the start video so you know anything of what I'm talking about now. It's just that everyday reminder. Hey, if you're new, make sure you go back to the beginning. Watch the intro video that has start in the thumbnail, and that will tell you all of the concepts that we're talking about. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. Everyone have a great Friday, a great start to the weekend, and I will see you soon. Take care.